had the shot at BCS, so I'm just.
Let me post on Discord. We live it. Morning, chat. I will have to pick up my car at some point today. Good morning.
Morning.
The tea off stream. There wasn't much. Fortunately, I ended up having to go. Huh? Okay. Not gonna ask questions. Doink. Minz, are you talking about the room? I don't know. Genuinely confused.
Check.
And two.
And two.
Davenport, no time off since they premeditated this.
Okay.
95, 1041.
Wait, are people being... Wait, where's Davenport? Davenport processing up north? Wait, what is happening? Hold. All right. Well, we got some not so surprising news regarding the mayor yesterday.
My guy had makeshift bags on him, but no makeshift. And there's like a bunch of different casings. 6 different casings.
So I don't know what your situation stems from, but if you tell me the area where they were found, I can look around, see if they dropped it.
I did briefly inside there in the VU, but I didn't find another weapon.
Were they only in the VU?
The TLDR roads, we responded to a shots fired. And when we turned up there was casings all over the end of the, what you call it, catwalk, I guess. And then they ran outside with shotguns on the roof and shot 2 cops. So.
Oh, A-firm. All right, I'll code 6. I'll check the rooftops and stuff, the little balcony and the dumpsters in the area. I'll let you know if I find anything.
A-firm.
But I'm assuming, unless there's anything pending, never mind, my 95 just hit popped.
All right. No. We're talking about Junior.
Yeah, Davenport, I think just 3 times AMGE and criminal use. I don't think there's really much else. Can't really get anything else on them. Possessions, obviously. Yeah, like I said, no time off because they literally baited us there for a shootout. And 297's gonna be 10-7 at CMC.
Will I do one full charge and then the other 2 accomplice, or just do them all accomplice?
Give them all.
They're basically saying, well, I shot the girl and I shot Winston, so exact words.
Bucket Hat shot 270. And
Isn't how that works, is it?
Well, yeah. So we could, if we want to break it down, we absolutely could. We could just give them all accomplice. I know that the one with the motorcycle helmet shot at me, and he's also the one who I think shot down.
yeah, motorcycle helmet shot down 270. Sorry, but they were both assisting. Well, Bucket Hat assisted motorcycle helmet, so he gets everything.
Buckethead I believe, is the one who shot down Brixton. Sorry, Panhead is the one who shot down Brixton.
Oh, hello.
Yes, yeah. Panhead, Brixton, and then motorcycle helmet shot at me, and he shot down Renee. And I'm pretty sure he also shot at Brixton. I'm gonna double check with Brixton now. I think he's waking up soon, hopefully. Okay, just give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna ask Brixton which one shot him.
Also, Bucket Hat tried to steal my vehicle. I don't know if there's anything for that specifically.
Okay, motorcycle helmet gets 3 times, bucket 3 times straight, and then the motorcycle the panhead will get 1 times main and 2 times accomplice.
Hello. Okay, nothing here. One last quick search of the roof.
Tango 35, 297 direct.
No, we were checking to see if there was any
35, 297 direct.
like a gun hidden there.
Sana, you on radio?
This open? Oh, I have to jump because, well, that's silly. Davenport, I cleared the entirety of the inside. I checked all the little nooks and crannies, and then I've sort of skimmed through the roof and haven't found anything either.
Okay.
I don't know if they strayed very far from the VU, but I don't know if it's worth canvassing a very large area.
Well, there was a female on scene that had reportedly had a headache and then come back after the shooting was done. So I don't know whether she may have taken the guns with her or had the guns on her either.
Hey, firm.
I don't believe she was even searched or anything because she had a headache during the whole situation.
Speaking of headaches, have those been more common recently? Because I was around last night for shift 2, and a bunch of people had headaches at the colorful garage.
The biggest issues at the moment for people driving through the world, just falling into
Yeah.
sinkholes.
Ooh.
I've hit some potholes, and I mean, I put them in the email chain if you want to take a look at them. Roads. I reached out to see if we can get some cement filling though. But,
That's interesting. But yeah, I think it involved ADMC. There was a, like, sort of large-scale shooting at the colorful garage, and, like, processing got delayed because officers had headaches, then people had headaches, then officers had headaches. It was no bueno.
yeah, I've been noticing a few more headaches around, but yeah, mainly just be careful at high speeds when you're going like south on Elgin and like just around Legion Square in general.
Yeah, and sometimes you chase people and then they're not there anymore, which is great fun. Or if you have the worst one is if you have a cuffed suspect or a downed person in a car, the car will you'll fall forever, like forever.
Oh no. It's not even a hole that leads to Spanish.
No, it's literally
Shucks.
a hole that leads to like the ocean, and then at the bottom of the world.
Well, that's very unfortunate. Just double check. Yeah, I've got nothing. I've cleared all the dumpsters in the area as well. I think it is unlikely to be here.
If the guy just stated that you're looking for a makeshift, I never had it. The last officer that arrested him never took the mags off him.
Story checks out, right? Who's the guy? Maybe I can look him back in the previous time he was arrested.
Xavier Kuro.
12482.
Unfortunate. Their possessions weren't documented.
17199 has a makeshift pistol, no mag. Back to 17, comes back to the same guy. It comes back to a different person, but he was arrested on that scene. Charged with possession of a makeshift.
Rhodes, is that you?
Hi.
How are you doing?
Are you okay?
I feel unsafe today.
But, okay, well, I'm gonna be as respectful as possible. I don't know if anyone's done told you this, but, bitch, the elegy making you sound like you in a fishbowl.
Oh,
Ain't no way people done let you talk like that and not even told you.
you're the first person I spoke to.
Okay, you know what? It's for the better, because I am
What
the
about- what about
person.
now?
You're good. You're good.
Deke,
Okay.
Goosebump, did
Yeah,
I
you-
sorry,
am the
I had,
person
I-
who will tell you you look fat in that dresser if you got something,
No,
you know,
I
stuck
would
between your
rather, I would
teeth.
rather you do that, brother. I appreciate it.
Deke, are you still on
I
duty?
had technical
Hey,
issues
boom.
with my when I was coming out of the apartment. You know, I tripped over a cable.
Deke, I need you to put away the premiere. I'm going
Oh,
home.
that's so unfortunate.
Oh yeah, no, and then the drink that I deliberately moved to make sure I didn't
will
knock
after
over.
smoking
I
too.
managed to fall in the direction of where I'd moved it to, and I knocked it over.
Can you at least get a ride home, Brixton?
One of them days.
Yeah.
Fine.
You
I'm
ever?
just letting you know, right? I'm gonna be very
That's not how that
cryptic.
works.
Okay.
Actually, no, sorry, so what you gonna sorry, I cut you off. So what you gonna say?
Primarily just that, like, you know, I don't really trip over stuff necessarily, but what I will say is that I have spilled stuff. I may have,
Oh yeah.
No,
Um,
come get me.
you know, those fancy Go XLR
I need to
thingies.
go fucking go home.
Oh
and
yeah,
stitch
yeah,
up
yeah.
my
No,
teeth.
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you know the
what cable I
sliders?
tripped over was to do with.
Yeah, you
Oh,
know the
no.
sliders.
Oh, no.
Every ounce of fucking water and a full cup of water landed squarely between those sliders.
Did it work
70,
after?
74
No.
days.
I had to get another one.
It did.
I would have been too.
You
But
go
when I
swimming
tell
with it.
you the only place the water went was between there, that's no word of a lie.
Could you like see it full? Was it like full up? Was
Yes,
water?
it was full. Oh, that's fucking terrible.
The new-
Anyways,
new like limited edition.
this was more than a year ago at this point. It's probably a couple years. I don't know, but
Okay, well, Rhodes, as you know, I've turned my life around. Okay,
okay.
I'm now a deputy mayor for Blaine County.
Oh my gosh.
I'm being serious. Like, people are struggling to believe it, but it's true. You know, today I'm scared for my life
Now, why would you be scared for your life?
because
Be white.
you know people might still pin me to previous associations, right?
Okay.
Ends in 655.
And I just want to tell you, you know, that I'm an innocent man and nothing to do with them.
What
If
did
anything,
you just
you know,
do?
if anything suspicious should happen with me today, you know, then maybe I don't remember.
Okay, so
Just remember we had this conversation.
I don't know if this is you're gonna be targeted by the manor or if you're gonna be targeted for your affiliation with the manor. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how, like, what you're saying between those two options.
Might be targeted for just being such a good deputy mayor.
Okay, understood. Now, Denzel.
Mhm.
Hold on, okay, come in here. Now, what the fuck is going on? Cause I heard T last night.
What did you hear?
I heard that Junior was at the shift 3 meeting and things did not go according to plan.
In regards to what?
Well, I heard that not necessarily he don't fuck with us, but like
Right, eastbound.
the vibes were off. Again, I wasn't present for it, so I don't really know.
We're talking about the meeting.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I was present for that.
Okay, can you explain what happened? Because I only got bits and pieces.
Left, northbound,
And with the bits and pieces, it was giving Junior don't fuck with us.
Yeah, so Helen invited him to the meeting so that he can introduce himself to Shift 3 since I don't think any of us really knew him very much.
Oh, you're on about the shift. You're on about the shift 3 meeting, or you're on about the one that happened last night?
The Shift 3 meeting.
You can't say last night. It's 7 in the morning. Last night was the
Yeah.
shift 3 meeting. 6 hours ago. That's last night.
Oh, okay, fuck yeah. Sorry, I wasn't at that meeting, so I don't know anything about that meeting. I'll be honest.
Okay, so there would have been 3 meetings since there would have been okay.
So I was
I'm
at
gonna
the last. I was at the last meeting I was at the combined meeting between the BCSO and the LSPD at the not the last storm, but the storm before that.
Right. I'm talking about the meeting before that one that you were at.
Oh right, my morning. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
yeah,
Yes, yes,
sorry,
yes.
it's very
No, you're
confusing.
good.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, times are weird and meetings are weird and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I wish we could all set our phones at the same times, you know, and we'd be fine, but unfortunately not.
Yeah. So he came and he kind of introduced himself. Gave very brief introduction, whatnot, and started fielding questions. The questions started coming out relatively straightforward. Sort of, what are your plans? Do you want to change the sheriff? You know, what's going on with the BCSO? Like, what are your intentions with the department? What are your goals? Stuff like this. And a lot of his answers were deflecting. He wasn't really answering a lot of the questions. He was finding kind of ways around. There was a lot of I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Then the topic of the budget came up, and I think that's where it started spiraling. He mentioned that he was cutting the BCSO pay to $250 an hour because of the county being in debt. And I don't remember exactly what kicked it off, but him and Helen started asking questions, and bringing up perspective, and he rebutted to her and hit her with a "let me educate you," which
Ooh.
really did not come off well to anybody in the meeting when he said that. It was very rude and very entitled. And that's where it really started spiraling. Because then kind of everybody stopped pulling punches and throwing out like hard hitting questions, and he was fumbling. He wasn't able to give clear answers. He wasn't able to give up a plan of action that he wanted to put forward. He brought up a lot of how he is essentially repealing a lot of stuff and changing stuff. I think the opinion of him wanting to replace the sheriff as well, but I think that's a contested opinion, and some points of view came up about how maybe it's better to just not meddle and keep some stability in the department instead of changing sheriff every 3 months.
Apparently, there was a police officer that was using sealed documents and posting them all over Twitter about him as well, or something.
I don't know anything about anything being sealed. No sealed documents. We did ask him about his like prior history in state because a lot of us in Shift 3 don't know him. He gave a brief history, but he didn't really tell us much about him. I personally pulled up, his history to see if he had one. Obviously, got expungement, but going through the reports and whatnot that he had been involved in, a topic came up where he pissed on EMS and a PD car. So I asked him directly about that and what happened there, and he answered that as well. He I don't remember exactly what he said, but he didn't like shy away from it, but he did like acknowledge a sordid past. Because I mean, obviously, we're gonna want to know the history of the people who are in charge of us now. Especially, I mean, majority of the people that end up in charge of us probably have shot us plenty of times. I know Benji was running for mayor too, and he had shitloads of OISs and shot down officers all the time, right? So, that topic came up, and then I don't remember at what point Crane had come in, and him and Crane started kind of going back and forth with opinions of stuff and how things should be running. Topic about some big building came up, like a $12 million castle or something that was that's currently owned by the by Blaine County. He said that he wants to make it into like tier 2 apartments and charge people for it. When we all kind of brought up the opinion that it might be better to just sell it and take that money now to get out of debt and have some breathing space instead of trying to spend more money to refurbish it and spend more money to like upgrade it to make back money that the county doesn't currently have. And that brought some contest to that opinion. And it just kind of just kept evolving from there. People were bringing up questions, he wasn't answering them, or he was getting very defensive about the questions being asked to him, or he wasn't able to answer the questions very well. And to be honest, I don't remember every single question how it was answered very well. it was 24 hours ago, and a lot of shit has happened since then. If I could give you a, script of exactly what was said when, I would. I'm doing the best I can. Then it came down to a point where he kind of snapped and said, I don't know, something along the lines of like, I don't know why you guys, like, no wonder nobody likes the BCSO, because like they were treating him like an ass. And and then he mentioned how Princess Elena was committing crime right under their nose and they didn't do anything about it, and Mike dropped and walked out. And that was kind of how that ended, and it was just not good, man. Like, he kind of lost the room pretty early on, and it just spiraled, and he was not able to recover it. It was pretty brutal.
That's no bueno. I think that's especially bad during the Shift 3 meeting, considering I've said it before and I'll continue saying it. Shift 3 has always operated as a UPD. Well, Maple, you were there. Were those questions also being asked of or by people in the LSPD as opposed to just BCSO?
Yeah. I mean, the question about the castle thing was brought up by an LSPD officer because they knew about it, and at the end of the day, we want Blaine County to be as successful as we are. We want the manpower, we want the people. So for us, I don't give a fuck what color your uniform is. We're still all kind of in this together.
Yeah.
And when Blaine County officers struggle, it unnecessarily shifts a load and makes things just difficult for everyone.
I guess my question becomes, and Denzel, you might have this answer, you might not. Has he attempted to speak to people in current command and high command of the BCSO, or just inquired about problems that the BCSO has or has had, or is he just going in with the same mindset that that every other mayor has had, aside from Andy, with just being like, I get to pick a sheriff, I'll just change it to shake things up, without realizing the consequence of that?
Oh, that reminded me real quick. Part of what he mentioned as well was the fact that people out of the police force will be also interviewed for sheriff, which kind of brought up some question marks there from a lot of people. And the fact that he brought up a lot of things about how he's going to be getting rid of things and
apologies,
such as like the hunting licenses and whatnot, and why he didn't speak to any rangers about it specifically. I had a conversation with Remy recently about the hunting license stuff, and she told me that he has a whole plan for moving the hunting licenses over to court clerk stuff, but he never mentioned that he had a plan to replace the current legislation, just that he was getting rid of it. So I don't know if he just like fumbled under the pressure and didn't tell us what plans he did have, but he brought up about how he's getting rid of a lot of stuff, but not how he's planning to change it. A lot of his questions were answered with, I don't know yet, it's still my first day.
Which, to be fair, I genuinely think that is a valid response, right? Like, answering something without knowing how you're actually going to deal with it, I do think is a little, I don't necessarily want to say silly, but like I can respect someone acknowledging that they don't have an answer now, as opposed to giving a bullshit answer.
He'd only been in office for less than 24 hours when he went to that meeting, right?
Yeah, but you don't go undoing things without having a plan on how to compensate for it.
Sorry, who are you, sorry?
It's Etta.
Etta Hawthorne. I was on the council in the beginning, yes.
Lovely to meet you, Denzel Wallace.
Nice to meet you, Denzel.
So like, for example, I was told last night, when I was around for a couple hours, that a new piece of legislation is being put in, that if I read correctly would take the funds that the BCSO does get for billing people, and have that, I guess, sort of cycle through the Blaine County account as opposed to a specific account for PD. I'm gonna be honest, I don't quite know. How do I word this? There's definitely a problem regarding funds. I think there's a better solution to that, but
I can give you, if you want my take on it, I can give you my
go
take
ahead.
without kind of knowing about anything else that's kind of happened.
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason though, so previous to the wage being at 250, it was 400. So I suppose the cut, you know, has been, yeah, would say obviously it is a cut, but a very very minor one. The reason that was done, obviously by the cabinet, was to try and understand, you know, at a bare minimum what the outgoings are, you know, of the county, which would then be increased in order to make the county net neutral, if you know what I'm saying. So we're happy to pay, you know, BCSO as much as we physically can, with the money that's coming in, which leaves us with nothing in the county fund. So we're happy to obviously, you know, up that once we see that change. The reason the FRAA legislation was proposed to be changed is because currently in the BCSO budget there's 10 million. Officers have said, and obviously they've not said this in meetings, they've not said this to command, they've not said this to, you know, people of importance, evidently, because they've come to us and, you know, complained, you know, that the BCSO fund is on 10 million, they can't afford food, XYZ. Even at the 400 that they were being paid, it still wasn't enough, you know. So the wage change that we've made really was just, you know, so understandably, it all does seem bad, but the reason that change was kind of proposed, if that money was coming into the county, we would pretty much be able to set, like, guarantee kind of a new minimum wage for the BCSO. So, for example, if that 25% from fines was going into the county budget, which obviously the BCSO are paid out of, we would have kind of been able to assess it, say, right, this much is coming in, this is how many officers we've got on the payroll. We can comfortably say that the BCSO wage will never drop below 1,500, 2,000, you know, just because we now have that fund to continuously pay that. And what that would do is, yes, the BCSO budget wouldn't build anymore. You know, you wouldn't have 20, 30, 40, 50 million of cash that, you know, maybe some people can access, but amongst the majority is inaccessible funds. You would actually see that be distributed amongst the, you know, every officer that is working a shift.
Yeah,
I could smell the tea from 2 blocks away.
In regards to fun stuff, like I mentioned, and Helen had a long-winded conversation about it with him after the meeting as well, one-on-one. I mean, this like whole sort of castle thing that is being, the plan was to, what he told us was refurbish it into tier 2 apartments, right? So that it brings a quote-unquote passive income of roughly, give or take, $200,000 a month. Is this accurate? I want to confirm with you because you're part of his team.
You told that to me before. Yeah, that's what
Sorry, one moment. Sorry, what was that? So the what were the numbers?
The $12 million castle is currently sitting in custody of Blaine County's mayor department, whatever you want to call it. The plan for that was to refurbish it into tier 2 apartments to create a quote-unquote passive income.
Yeah. So
with the rough amount being, give or take, obviously it's a ballpark, $200,000 a month.
Yeah, I do need to ask, where did the 12 million number come from?
Is just one of the, it was a number brought up from an officer in the meeting.
Oh, it was like 5 billion, wasn't it?
Yes. So I know that property was purchased by state funds for $10 million.
Right.
I'm going to be honest. The people that they purchased it off inflated the price, but because she was so adamant on building a castle and needed a place to do it, she pretty much paid triple what they were trying to sell it for to anybody else.
Right. It just seemed like the case may be that people would be willing to buy it off.
I think people. No, people would be people. There's been no offers on that property. I will be honest. The only trouble we've had in regards to that property is kind of the citizens and residents of Grapeseed coming in there and, you know, I suppose, how do you say, it's crashing out because they thought we were going to sell it as we stripped down the castle. Apparently, that is a you know, monument and a very valuable property to the residents of Grapeseed. Obviously, that's something we do have to take into account, because obviously they're responsible for you know, the votes as you guys are, right? The property has been repurposed. It is already been furnished and already been built into these apartments, free of charge. You know, admittedly, I had to pull some strings. You know, it hasn't cost anything to do that. In regards to revenue, rough estimate. You know, it will be in the ballpark of $1 million a month.
Yeah, those are just not the numbers that he gave to Helen.
Yes, I mean there's 10 rooms in the property. The estimated kind of, this is all, like I say, it's very early days. We've been in office like less than 72 hours, right? It's 25k a room. These rooms are obviously, there's a lot of legislative piece to go through that. We need to make sure that these rooms are raidable and not some kind of like impenetrable fortress apartments that, you know, everyone can you know, rent out and that kind of thing. And we've obviously been speaking with the justices and, you know, getting our legislators to look at things like that.
So, okay, so just to confirm, you said 25,000 a room?
Well, 25,000 a room. There's 10 rooms. That'll be a weekly pay.
So 250,000.
Yes, I mean that was 250,000 a week, but 25k was kind of a ballpark, depending on what obviously is provided in the rooms. We should be looking at, you know, it could increase. It also depends on the popularity, and it's not to say, right, you can try something, and if it doesn't work, if there is no interest after people have, it's just one of those things. People were very, very interested in that idea when he was pitching it, when he was running for mayor. As with everything in Los Santos, now he's been elected, now he's following through with the promise. Are people going to be interested in renting those rooms? Who knows, right?
I feel like 100k a month isn't bad. I don't know. I thought it was going to be like 50k a month.
Well, we have to try and fill the rooms, Rupert. You know what I'm saying? So, and these people that will be renting these rooms can't afford houses. They probably won't be able to afford, you know.
I think 50k a month is pretty reasonable. That's $500,000 a month. That's pretty good, isn't it, for the county?
It's the comparison made. So with the numbers that were provided to Helen,
those numbers are never going to work.
Numbers, not the numbers that you've used now, which are much more reasonable in terms of
people would pay that
passive income
to rent an individual property, but not a shared one.
$5,000 a week, $20,000 or $200,000 a month, or whatever the fuck it was, some along those lines, ballpark. The total account would have been, it would have taken 50 months to recuperate the same amount of money it would have made for just selling the property.
Mm-hmm.
That was sort of the math that was done at that time, and there was a lot of confusion as to.
Yeah, understandably. I'll be honest. At that price, I'd probably rent the whole place myself, right?
Hey King, I need to take this call. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I think the aim of this is, I mean, whether people believe me or not, I mean, I'll be honest, I've never been the biggest criminal anyway, right? But I've been expunged, and I plan to kind of take this seriously. It's the whole idea. If I wanted to embezzle, I would have, you know, probably gone on the panel for the Los Santos County, which have 610 million in the bank account, rather than a county that was -2 when we got it. We're trying to build consistent revenue streams for Blaine County, which will be here long after kind of we've left office. Because at the moment there just isn't that, and that's why we're having the trouble with the budget.
Do you think the solution was taking all consistent forms of income away from BCSO rather than say taking, I don't know, half of it? Like the Blaine County account currently, the BCSO account is steadily going up, right?
Mm-hmm.
If we say that the $8 million or whatever they say is in there, $9 million they said yesterday, is a good enough buffer for now, then why don't you just take half of the income of the Blaine County account so that it can stay where it is and have a buffer, without now, in theory, dropping very quickly towards zero.
Well, it wouldn't drop because we would pay for everything. They would that money would be there in case of an emergency of the county collapsing. But that's what the whole purpose of us taking that 25 of the fines would be us subsidizing absolutely everything that the BCSO has in costs, right?
Do you know how much it costs to run a department?
Yeah, but that's the issue is, but that's all funded by BCSO. Sorry, that's all funded by the Blaine County budget.
I'm gonna jump in there one for them. I need to go help.
All right.
But I appreciate the conversation.
Yeah, no worries. I'm open to, like I said, I'm open to anything else that you need. I'm happy to have a chat with anybody. So please feel free to give me a call.
I will say, your conversation went a lot smoother and a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I'm not here to try and fuck shit up, right? I'm here to try and sort things out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you know what his plans are regarding the BCSO and if he is selecting a new sheriff?
A new sheriff has been selected, yes.
Wait, already?
Not has been, is being.
Oh. Got it. Were there complaints with the current sheriff?
Like I say, I can't say too much. But, there was people who, that question was asked about the current leadership. And, a lot of the candidates do feel like there is issues within the BCSO currently.
Okay, I guess my follow-up question to that is, were those concerns brought up to the people that were complained about to address?
That's more of a question for Junior, I'll be honest, Rhodes, because I haven't personally spoken to McNulty, but I know Junior has.
Not it. Okay. The reason I asked that is because if the answer to that is no, then I anticipate not providing any kind of leniency, wiggle room, or anything to that extent to someone who's unwilling to allow there to be opportunity for somebody to improve, if they're unwilling to offer that same courtesy to anybody else. You see how that works, right? Like,
yeah,
if somebody comes in without having been in a department, so lacking general knowledge of the day-to-day, they are now in a position to make sweeping changes regarding the high command structure of said department, again, with little context. Hear that there are problems with said department, but don't address those to the people who can either make changes or improve upon those things, again, providing them no opportunity to improve. I don't believe someone who would then just make sweeping changes without providing an opportunity to improve deserves that ever.
Yeah.
That's very much so what you're going to get what you give.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. Junior, I don't think has dealt with that before, and I'm not sure if he can, he probably doesn't take it very well.
I had a conversation with him before. I'm not kidding. Before I went to City Hall to vote, I called him and I mentioned a few things. One of those things was, Junior, I am going to vote for you, but I hope you do understand that the BCSO is, I'm sort of paraphrasing here because I don't remember exactly what I said word for word, but the BCSO has kind of been ran through regarding each mayor. Every time a new mayor has been selected, there's been drama with the BCSO because the mayors realistically don't realize that a shakeup every 90 days in the high command structure of a department is absolutely fucking ridiculous, and provides very little stability for said department. But more importantly, we have been ran through in the sense of we've been told one thing and then something else completely differently happens just about every election. Our pay for the longest time under Pred was a few $100s an hour, with very little communication regarding any of those changes. Hell, when Radich was made the interim sheriff, It was, from my understanding, because he was the first officer that Pred saw on the side of the road that entertained a conversation with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, these are the decisions being made for our department by people not in our department who don't understand the department. And so I just asked that he took into account all of that and understand that, unfortunately, because the track record of mayorship has been, for lack of better term, shafting the department, intentionally or not, like, understand that people are probably going to give him the side eye. And it's not because he specifically has necessarily done anything wrong. It's more so that every other mayor before him has. I'm not kidding, with the exception of Andy. And it comes to a point where, especially because of his prior position under Nino, obviously people are going to have the reservations regarding Junior, and whether or not he's got good intent behind the Blaine County and the sheriff's office. I can understand where people are coming from regarding those concerns.
What are the concerns? You have to understand
that
I've come from a place of I don't know anything about this. I only know what I see and what I'm told, right? So I wasn't a quote unquote politician before this term.
Okay, so again, one of the biggest concerns for the BCSO is having some level of stability in high command, and that literally has not happened once, from my understanding. Every time there's been a new mayor, there's been a new sheriff, as if there's a requirement to choose the new sheriff. And again, these decisions are being made by people who don't know the department. I'm going to be entirely honest with you. I think it's actually really fucking stupid that the mayor determines who the sheriff is, because I don't walk into a bank and tell them how to do their job, right? I'm not a numbers person. Never have been, never will be. I'm not a mathematician, okay? But, like, a mayor determining how the sheriff's office should operate, while I understand that they should control budget-related stuff, totally understandable, choosing the sheriff is a whole other thing, especially if you know, a good portion of the department hasn't necessarily been confronted regarding issues with said department. I haven't been confronted. And I'm an open book. If you ask me if there's problems and I'm aware of them, I will tell you what they are. But this whole, like, well, I'm the mayor, I get to decide, is really silly when, in my opinion, they're not qualified. Legally, are they entitled to do it? Sure, absolutely. Are they qualified to pick an appropriate person? In my opinion, absolutely the fuck not. Not unless they put a good amount of time and effort into actually researching. And if you're telling me that, you know, it's been less than 72 hours and sheriff related things are happening, I don't really know that that's a good sign. My personal stance.
You know, I appreciate that.
But I mean, yeah, I guess it's just going to be a waiting game. I will say this regarding the money portion of things in our pay. Money's always going to be a touchy subject, especially in in Blaine County, considering 95% of every money generating thing for a county is unfortunately down here in the South. And Blaine County also gets shafted with the tow-related stuff, despite not making money off tow. It's an absolute shit show. There's no denying that. But if this were about money, people would have left the department under Pred. Straight up. It would have happened months and months and months ago. It didn't, because the BCSO has never been about making the most money. We were making hundreds of dollars an hour, while the LSPD was making, I think, $3,500 an hour.
I've got to ask then. So why were there so many complaints about the pay?
Because it fucking sucks. But we know that it's temporary. If we have to suffer through 90 days of a shitty fucking mayor, we'll do it. It's while it sucks, we know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
think there is no intention of the wage staying like that, right? That's kind of not the reason it was done.
Repeat that. Sorry.
So the it wasn't lowered as as a fuck you, or as a this is how it's going to be. It was lowered merely just to understand finances, and that was attempted to be communicated. But I think it fell on deaf ears.
I'm gonna be real. Has Junior explained to you how our pay works?
In regards to,
you're never gonna get a valid baseline of our pay, and the reason is, the way it's paid out is not typical. If I've worked 10 hours, okay, assume I've worked 10 hours while the pay was $3,000 an hour, and then it gets swapped down to $250 an hour, and I work that for 10 hours. If I then immediately after get my paycheck, all 20 hours are billed at $250.
Mm-hmm.
If people hold on to their paycheck, and I'm a person who I don't cash out my paycheck very often at all. So essentially what I'm saying here is if somebody has a 500-hour, we'll just say it like that. We'll have to word it that way. A 500-hour paycheck to claim. That's all sort of just like sitting there waiting to be withdrawn from that account all at once at whatever the current rate is at that time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Junior was telling people not to collect their paychecks.
Well, if people don't collect their paychecks, I mean, ultimately, you're never gonna see the. Okay, I'm gonna be as honest as possible when I say this. I don't think anyone is gonna be cashing out their fucking paychecks anytime soon. And if and when the pay does go up and people do inevitably cash out their paychecks, like, there's going to be massive drops in the account. Like, that's unfortunately what's gonna happen. I could have over 100 hours worth of shit to cash out right now. I don't know, because I don't really track, nor do I pick up my paycheck very often. But like, it would be sort of a slap to the face to have like hundreds of hours paid out at $250, you know? Like that'd be ass.
Oh no, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I think,
but
I don't really think
the TLDR, I want to make this very clear, is that getting a baseline is going to be borderline impossible because of how our paychecks are processed. Because someone could be sitting on a 1,000-hour paycheck because they genuinely just never cash out their shit and tank the account millions. Millions that's not accounted for. All in one go. Now, in saying that, Pred and I in the past used to give out paychecks on Fridays, and we'd all take a trip to the bank and whatnot, and that was even done for a period of time. I believe in the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, in this iteration of the PD, but we can't force it. While that does suck, I can't stress enough, like, if the coffers are looking good, right, and people know that they're not going to get a $0 paycheck because I don't even know if it works that way, but people are just not going to cash their shit out, which means that their further paychecks are going to be bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and when they finally withdraw, the account's going to go lower and lower and lower.
So people are complaining about it being lowered, but they actually won't be affected by it at all. So they're just complaining for the sake of complaining.
No, that's not fair to say at all, actually. I don't think you're being disingenuous in saying that. I think that's an oversimplification. You have to consider that people do need cash. For example, if I didn't have my husband's money, I would not have much cash at all. Straight up. That is a fact.
It's only because the way that you said it is like it's some kind of like everybody knows not to cash it in until it goes back up, or is that like not everybody kind of thing?
No, that's not an everybody thing. But additionally, you're also sort of shooting yourself in the foot by Listen, if the bare minimum is $250 an hour, I hate to break it to you, but I don't think anyone's cashing in their paycheck at a value that barely covers a meal every 2 hours. You know?
Mm-hmm. No,
and that's before like income tax. So it's I just can't stress enough that getting that baseline is going to be very difficult, because even though you set it at 250, you're never going to see that money gone from the account until people cash out their paycheck.
Yeah, I mean that's I do appreciate that information. That's a bit of a shame, really, because it's almost like you can't fix the finances even if you wanted to.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, to be fair, I do think and I did bring this up with Junior. Now, will Los Santos County ever be on board with it? Probably not. But listen, we all know that an overwhelming majority of crime happens here in the city. Blaine County also has to respond to, you know, these calls. I don't see why the argument is often, well, if you're going to be in the city, you should just be in the LSPD. And get, you know, the max pay that it's been forever, blah, blah, blah. When ultimately, if the money would end up coming out of Los Santos County budget, why does it really matter? Why can't Los Santos County subsidize the cost of the BCSO up north if we inevitably have to respond to shit down here anyways?
Because they don't want to.
Well, I don't know. That's giving like the person in charge of Los Santos County is Nino's minion, and Nino.
That was brought up yesterday at the like there was talks of loans and things like that, and why wouldn't you know, the LSPD with 610 million in their account that they're never going to spend, you know, give an injection to Blaine to help them, you know, run as a county.
But it doesn't even need to be. It doesn't even need to be like worded or like the paint or the picture painted as an injection as much as it is like. Let's be honest. The Blaine County Sheriff's Office is going to be the Blaine County's biggest expense. I don't think there's any getting past that, right?
Oh no, it is. Yeah, without a doubt.
If 90% of what we do is down here, why wouldn't they? I'm just saying. Like, there's an angle here. I'm not saying you know, the mayor ever tells us not to respond to calls down here. I think that would be silly, but like, I don't believe that the mayor of Los Santos County is sort of like operating in good faith. Like,
yeah, I'll be honest, it was thrown about, and it was pretty much you know, they're welcome to join the LSPD if they like.
So they'd still be paying for the same officer.
Yeah.
At a higher cost than what they would be in Blaine County, since our pay would typically be lower.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. Yeah. No.
Oh, it's so silly.
Yes, it's just the way that it is, and that's why, you know, I'm all about kind of sustainability. I'm looking to actually try and you know, create some revenue streams that just do allow us to thrive as a county. And then, you know, so we're able to pay, you know, competitive rates. I'll be honest, the wage isn't the issue, right? I'm sure we can work that out. I'm sure the BCSO can be paid the same as the LSPD. The problem is keeping it sustainable, and, you know, actually allowing, you know, the Blaine County account not to get into the position that it's currently in. Admittedly, you know, it's got into that state through, you know, 12 months of you know, overspending, and
yeah, like $13 million for a jetpack.
Yep, 10 million for a property. 1 million a month or a week for Princess just for being the mayor. Yeah. And you know what's crazy?
What?
There's people in the BCSO that seem to still support